lineup so far at least, but Lodestone would, or I would assume at least, that he would go into that suicide lane. We did see, I'm not entirely sure if it was, no, I think it was you who were casting with me yesterday when we saw Lodestone and Demoira in the safe lane actually. Dual laned Lodestone.
Was it a Luna? I think it was Lodestone and a Luna because they were able to burst down the Magnus.
Oh yeah, it was an Luna,
So it
you're
was an
right.
Luna.
Um,
But yeah, I'm not a fan of Lodestone in dual lanes. I think the hero is just he's really good at absorbing XP. He's hard to box out. He gets those levels, and that's really all he needs. He needs levels, and then he needs to eventually get the portal key. Um, so the hero doesn't need a whole lot, and it still brings a good amount to the table.
That's a good way to put it. So you would expect Lodestone to go into the suicide lane here. That would mean that we got a Swift Blade potentially in the carry role here. Do you like that option versus an Oogie?
Um, it's gonna depend at how well Swipblade can snowball because he's a great carry late game. He's able to output a lot of damage, and with the Blade Frenzy, he can sit on Oogie and not have to worry about taking damage from the Conflagrate and the Tarquakes, which is where all of Oogie's damage comes from. So that is 5 seconds where Swipblade can do damage to Oogie and Oogie can't hurt him back. But I think the Swipblade is gonna fit BMG style a lot because. What I would imagine they're going to do is they're going to run a tri-lane in the short lane with Magnus and another hero, and then stack the jungle, give Swiftblade the jungle, and then Magnus will take over the top lane. So if they do that, I think it's going to be very effective. And they already have the Lodestone to deal with the Oogie as well. So I really like BMG's lineup as of right now.
Imba Boy actually addressing the Voodiester here in the second blind or in the second banning phase. Do you think that it's because of Voodiester's Curse being a good tool to deal with the Oogie? Or is it simply because it goes well with the Hailborn heroes in general?
I think it's a combination of that as well as the acid cocktail is very good at dealing with the Ophelia minions when they start to look to push towers with the Ophelia. And they still need a support, and Fusen is definitely known for playing the Voodoo Jester. So I think the band makes sense here. Um,
Absolutely, I like the thing, or I like the fact that you brought up the Ophelia factor there. Of course, yeah, the cocktail does stun neutral creeps for an additional amount of time. So yeah, great counter there to the Ophelia. We also see the oh wait, actually, only 5 seconds left for Evil Corporation to think about this fourth pick. They are taking their time. They are going to go with Deadwood once again. I would assume. Wait.
Yeah, they Evil Corporation loves Deadwood, and it's specifically Bray plays a really good Deadwood. So we've seen him on the Deadwood a lot in the past 2 days now.
What I found interesting here about BMG's lineup is that they already got three melee heroes. Like they don't want
Hmm
a fourth. Optimally, at least, they don't want a fourth, especially versus an Oogie. I feel like that could cause a lot of issues. And of course, versus the Arcane Vortex as well. Like that would set up for some great AoE stuns for the Legion team if they were to. So they are probably going to go for some kind of ranged hero here, and possibly to go up versus the Deadwood in a 1 versus 1 situation. Are there any options that currently seems viable to you? I mean, Bubbles, for example, would that be an option?
It's definitely an option. However, I don't think Bubbles would be okay for disrupting the Ophelia and the Aegean team fights. However, I think BMG is going to want to pick a very strong mid laner, and they pick up the Torture, which this could either be a hard support Torture or a boxy Torture mid. And the reason for that is because Evil Corporation is most likely going to solo mid with the Deadwood, and BMG can respond with a very strong laning solo laner to do well in that lane, and then, as we said, do the tri lane short and just get Swiftblade and Magnus a lot of farm. So I would like if they ran Torture mid, however they don't necessarily have to.
They're gonna go with Rally as their final pick here on the Legion side. That is a lot of melee heroes in this game, like a lot of close ranged heroes as well. Of course, the Ophelia creeps and the Mora. This is going to be some head-on-head team fight clashes. That's safe to say, especially with the Torture as well. Actually, that works pretty well versus melee heroes. Of course, with the Torment, especially if he were to be played by Boxy in that mid role and in the farm role, then I could definitely see Torture dealing tons of damage in those team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I think a core torture could definitely do a lot of damage this game. And if he is to bulk up with a lot of armor items and just be very, very tanky, Deadwood and Rally won't be able to do a whole lot of damage to him in team fights. And then it'll just come down to if they lock down Oogie in the team fights, the torture will be able to do tons and tons of AoE damage. And as you said, there's already 3 melee heroes picked up here for Evil Corporation. So that is definitely a possibility that we could see happen. And Puppet Master going to be the final pick here. So it's most likely going to be a Puppet Master mid, and then a hard supporting Torturer on the side of BMG. So Puppet Master is another one of those dominating like 1v1 heroes. So it makes a lot of sense that they would pick up something like that here. However, I don't know how good Puppet's going to be when it comes to the mid game because he could definitely be bursted down by the Rally and the Deadwood very easily.
That is a fair point. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I would assume that Maki actually is going to be playing the Magnus in the mid lane, and then Baltzar is probably going to sit on that safe lane versus the
Okay,
Rally. They could do
so
either way. It depends on kind of what they
Fuzin.
want to focus on.
Fuzin's
Wait,
playing the Switchblade. And we talked about that in the prior draft. This is going to be a roaming boots for Switchblade. And it's not Boxy playing the puppet, it's Balthazar. So it is a one-roll Puppet Master.
interesting. Normally, when we see those offensive tri-lanes coming out from BMG, we kind of see Boxy playing the farmer as well. I'm thinking about like Valk accursed support lanes, for example. But they're gonna have Balthasar here on the offensive tri lane. Like the option, definitely gonna confuse the Legion team at least. I don't think that they would expect this.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, they pick up on the fact what players are playing what heroes, and they notice that something is up.
Yeah, warp
Because
side here
if
at
Fuzin's
least.
playing Switchblade, that means something's not right.
That is safe to say. Fusion playing Swiftblade, I'm not entirely sure if that's ever happened before, but we are going to see it here at least, game number 2. Once again, Huntor Season 4 Cycle 2, Evil Corporation versus Bad Monkey Gaming. Of course, Evil Corporation being up 1 game, but here game number 2, it seems like BMG got themselves a little bit more of a plan than in their previous game. They definitely seem confident in going for this offensive lineup. How strong is Oogie? No, never mind. Rally is going to be the one. They are going to spot this and they are going to swap up their lanes. Do you like this?
Yeah, this is really great rotation and laning coming out from Evil Corporation. They got Deadwood in a 1v1 matchup against a melee, which is what he excels at. You could argue that Magnus is also good in these scenarios, but Deadwood does have a very high outputting damage early on. And they're going to get farm on their Oogie, seeing as how they're running him 2v1 in the mid lane. So right off the bat, BMG recognizes this, and they're going to make necessary rotations. Torture going to move to the middle lane, and Switchblade going to do his roam and try to disrupt the Ophelia in the middle lane right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, once again, BMG, they are the ones running the dual support while Legion team got the Force heroes. They kind of depend on this landing phase. They need to do well, and they need to, well, optimally at least win at least 2 lanes. There is the chain reaction. They are actually going to commit to this kill. Is it going to be enough damage, though? I wonder. It seems like it's not. Now they're going to try to turn it around onto low zone, and this is very likely going to be the first. But nice chain reaction from Torture, but it's not going to be enough to save a Boxy from death. Tanka Fed, of course, gets credit for that kill. How important is that, by the way, to get that first blood when you're farming Ophelia in the forest?
Oh, it feels so good. Ophelia is one of those heroes that she rides off of a lot of momentum. When she's able to set up kills in the first 5 to 7 minutes of the game and do successful ganks, the hero his power level greatly increases. And this is where she's going to pick up a lot of levels. She's going to get that quick level 5 where she can take over 2 creeps. And as we see a dive in the top lane, Deadwood going to go down to the spinning split with Magnus.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he is.
when Ophelia picks up momentum early on in the game, that's when she really starts to take over the game with those tower pushes. And she just gives a huge boost to her team in gold by taking down those towers.
Yes, you can see here Tankeford farming away in the forest, getting the double Vulture Lord. So already up at 350 gold per minute, level 3, highest level or highest experience. Nope, never mind, Rally is actually the highest. No, Maki is the highest experience gainer so far. Of course, getting that kill up onto Deadwood. Nice rotations so far from Fusen. Oh, DD here in the mid lane as well. Mora kind of forcing the Hellborn team back. I'm surprised that they're even trying to trade out attacks with him.
Yeah, especially at this stage of the game where double damage means doing 100 damage a hit, and heroes only have like 500 to 600 HP. Those auto attacks do a lot of damage.
What could you expect to see here from Puppet Master, of course, running the offensive playstyle here versus the Rally? He's up at 300 gold per minute, but it has turned into a 1 versus 1 situation. What potential items could you see him go for?
I think we're going to see the quick assassin shroud because he's going to need to be active in this game, seeing as how they're playing against an Ophelia lineup. However, I think eventually he'll want the Whispering Helm for that extra armor, seeing as how he is playing against a Rally and a Deadwood. Because he is quite a squishy hero, and if he does get caught in that Rotten Grasp and gets locked down by either of those two heroes, he is going to die every single time. So it's going to come down to Balthazar having good or bad positioning in team fights. If he can not get caught by those heroes, he'll do a lot of damage in team fights. But if he does get caught, he's going to die very quickly.
Boxy here in the mid lane, by the way, he's gonna skip the bottle and rush or go straight for the Marchers. Kind of surprising, a little bit at least I feel, seeing as the Hellborn team shouldn't have any problems controlling the rules or the runes. But do you like the Marchers pickup here as the first item? Oh
I
wait, hold
think
that
he.
thought.
Yep.
Torture is in trouble. The grasp is going to miss though, and that's probably going to be the difference between a kill and... Oh wait, where's Swiftblade going with this port? He's going to go down to the bottom. Rally though picked up the haste, so there's not going to be any kill opportunity here.
I don't think he showed himself, but I'm not positive. I don't know if Rally actually saw Switchblade port in. But yeah, I think he picked up the Marchers because he wants to be able to try to avoid Tarquakes. Because if Immoboy can land like 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 actually Tarquakes on him successfully, that's how he's gonna die. But having those Marchers is gonna help him dodge those Tarquakes coming out.
What is up with this build, by the way, on Boxy? He's gonna go for the bracelet here as well, so he's gonna skip the bottle altogether. So there's not going to be a single bottle here on the Hellborn side, but okay, now he's actually going to level up the Hell Smash. For some reason, he hadn't leveled up the Hell Smash up until this point. I was a little bit questionable for why that was, if he was potentially saving it to put levels into the queue, to set up a kill or something like that, but not entirely sure what that was all about.
I don't think there's too much to look into that. You always want to max your head smash because early game that's where all your damage output comes from.
Oh, look at this, by the way, Rocket Drill is going to be forced as Mora is gonna channel the illusion as well. I don't think it's going to be enough though. Smart play by Boxer right there. Going to take the other route and successfully escape.
Yeah, definitely. Well played by Boxy there. I just want to comment on what is your opinion on Torture going for agonizing bonds instead of impalement?
Ouch.
We did point out that they were against a heavy melee lineup, and they're also very tanky heroes. So, is it safe to say you would like to see impalement? Because I personally would like to see impalement over agonizing bonds.
I would 100% agree with that statement. I'm personally not a fan of this Bond's ability whatsoever. Like, I literally think it's... I don't
I
know.
think it would have maybe been okay had he been playing like the solo mid role this game, but as a support, his levels are gonna lack, and the early levels of these abilities or of this ability, excuse me, doesn't do that much damage if you were to compare it to the impalement. So I personally would have liked to have seen the impalement here.
Absolutely.
Rocket Drill
Shadow
gonna come in the
Storm
mid lane.
as well, that's a good coordination, but the Arcane Vortex, or I mean the Shards of Harkon, is unfortunately going to prevent the Shadow Storm from dealing full damage. Puppet Master though gonna pour it in. There is a Compel though, only going to go for the Lowstone though rather than the Puppet Master. He is going to get a return kill at least, but Oogie is going to fall, so I guess that was an alright trade at least for BMG. Nice port-ins from the Solar Laners.
Yeah, they did lose 2 to kill Imba there, so Evil Corporation did come out ahead in kills.
That they sure did.
But they did kill the Oogie, which is always a good thing. However, costing them 2 kills or 2 lives of their own.
Yeah, seems like just as in game number 1, BMG kind of winning the laning phase, at least on paper, or at least they have heroes that are, well, high above 300 gold per minute. The overall golden experience is relatively even. You would kind of expect Evil Corporation to be a little bit ahead though on the experience front, seeing as they are the ones who are running the jungler. But so far BMG is doing a good job at keeping it up. As we can see here, Boxy actually rotating down to the bot lane as well as Oogie. So a little bit more traditional laning setups here now.
Yeah, we've seen both sides make adjustments as it is to the point where heroes are picking up their level 6s, and it's at the point where it's not safe for Puppet to be in this bottom lane anymore. And same with Evil Corporation, they want their Oogie to leave middle and to go to the bottom lane to where he can get safer farm. So I would say good rotations by both teams, recognizing the stage of the game currently and assessing that they need to make adjustments to get the right heroes farm.
Yeah, Makia leading the short share for BMG. No, never mind, he's gonna drop down slightly below Puppet Master right there, but he's doing a really good job so far. Of course, picking up the steamboats, closing in, got another 700 gold before he can reach that pull key. If he can time that potentially with the level 11, that would be, well, at least preventing all kind of push abilities or push potential from this Ophelia, as we can see down here at the bot lane. What do you do if you're BMG right now? Like, you still got 600 gold to that pull key onto Magnus. Do you simply wait? Do you simply farm that before you try to defend
I
the
think they're
towers?
going to defend this tower. They have a haste rune on Lodestone, which if Evil Corporation tries to push into this on a even like a 4-on-4, 5-on-5, etc., this could be very disastrous because Lodestone can get a big Shatterstorm off here. So I think they spotted that out and they wisely choose to not push because it could just be disastrous if they pushed into a hasted Lodestone.
What about the Striders picked up on Rally, by the way? Why do you think he decides to go for this kind of early mobility item?
Well, he wasn't a 1v1 for the most part against the Puppet in the bottom lane, and that's just a really unfavorable matchup for him. He's only got 15 CS, sitting at 166 GPM, and the Striders are going to help him with his map movement. And
look at this, by the way, Box is going to find Ophelia in the forest. I wonder if he's going to try to go for the kill attempt. Unfortunately, Ophelia is not going to attempt to climb that hill.
Warrior Illusion top lane. They're going to try to catch Puppet Master here.
It's
Shards
going
Archon
to be
gonna
successful.
hit. Rally gonna go in with the combo.
Torture is running in. Wow, he's tanky though. Just as you were talking about with that Whispering Helm, he got the extra armor. Magnus is here, so is Swiftblade. It's going to be at least 1 kill in return. Actually, Level Surge is not going to be hitting Deadwood, and Torture is going to fall as a result. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are Evil Corporation actually going to be able to make it out of here without losing a single hero?
Yeah, not the best rocket drill into Shatterstorm going out from Boxy. Had that landed on a couple heroes, I think they could have got a couple more return kills. But yeah, we saw, so Puppet Master picked up the Helm of the Victim, which is now going to be turned into the Whispering Helm. And just from that 5 armor alone, it mitigated a lot of Rally's damage.
Oh, mid lane, by the way, what is going on? Eruption is going to be channeled. I'm not entirely sure what that was all about. What? Yeah, okay, that was questionable. Almost getting turned on right there. Ophelia's Judgment only being level 2 is not quite enough damage, but I'm not sure if you saw the start of that.
No, it looked like he...
Like, he was literally in the trees.
Wasn't in range.
Like, in the trees of that top, and Ophelia was down in the river, and it was just... It was so obvious that it wasn't going to be in range. I guess he kind of I don't know. I thought that Ophelia was going to commit a little bit more to the tower push, but yeah, now he picked up his Polki at least, and now the eruption is going to be down for additional 100 seconds.
Yeah, so a little unfortunate there for Magnus. He does pick up his portal key now, so he has that, but he doesn't have the eruption to use. Bot tower was pushed in by Imboboy here on the Oogie, and Rally did scout out that the Hellborn has a double stacked Ancient, so Oogie could look to try to steal those if he has some more mana and feels safe. But they are only double stacked right now, so not the biggest priority at the moment.
Yeah, speaking about the mana, he decided to go for the glowstone. There we go, Polki onto Magnus in the mid. Shatterstorm Rally though is going to save his teammate for now. The slow is going to assist as well, and I do think the Tankafet is going to be able to get
Haste the
out
Dead
of
would come
here. Fusen in trouble. Puppet Show is activated. Tankafet is actually going to go back straight in. Might be his death, no. Ophelia's touch is going to be used. This looks like a pretty good fight for the Hellborn team so far. Mora is here now as well. She got level 6. She got the Arcane Vortex. Seems like they are simply going to try to regroup and continue to farm here for the Legion side. But yeah, Magnus showing off his Polki, unfortunately not resulting in a kill there.
Yeah, so that portal key unfortunately backfired for BMG. They weren't able to get any kills out of it, and Evil Corporation able to get a turn kill onto him, or just a kill, excuse me.
Yeah, I have
But yeah,
to
Puppet
say,
Master's still doing really well, sitting at 390 GPM. I would say the Assassin Shot should be his next pickup here in the near future.
yeah, I have to say that Sane has been utilizing those striders quite well. Like not only setting up the kill, of course, on Puppet Master at the top lane, but also like constantly just keeping close to his teammates, helping them out with that compel ability. It's definitely credits for him so far. He's closing in on his Polki as well, doing a better job than Lodestone as of right now, at least in terms of trying to get that Polki. But yeah, I mean, what do you do if you're a BMG right now? Like, Oogie is obviously going to start skyrocketing in farm as he progresses, or as the game progresses here. He has a little bit more of a farming tool, or better farming abilities than the Puppet Master. So when you get the Shroud of Puppet Master, is it safe to say that BMG is going to try to look to, well, put on the pressure?
Yeah, I think for now they want to farm up the Shroud on the Puppet as well as get Lodestone as Blink, and then if Evil Corporation tries to make any tower pushes with the Ophelia, they have a Magnus set up ready with his Portal Key and an Eruption, as well as Lodestone to defend. But I think for now you want to get maybe something like work on an Energizer for your Swiftblade, who in this game isn't really taking a priority of farm, but it would still be nice to see him pick up something. And then just, wait for that Shroud so that you can look to get kills on the Oogie with it.
Oh, Magnus at the bot lane, he needs to blink out. He's gonna blink to the outpost. He's still in trouble though. Lava Surge, the illusion is going to be channeled by Mora. He's gonna Lava Surge into the trees and he's probably going to be fine. As you can see right there, Tankafetch trying to use the Minotaurs to potentially stop his TP. But yeah, Mackie gets out of there at least. So
Middle lane, Lodestone gonna be able to rocket drill out of the Rotten Grass because it's an immobilize and not a stun.
that is indeed true. Good thing that you brought it up. It actually works the same way with like Glacius Imprison, as you said, Immobilize spells. So yeah, you cannot lock down Lodestone in that way.
Yep, heroes like Lodestone, Bubbles, all great against Deadwood for getting out of that Rotten Grasp if you do get caught in it.
Porky right there, picked up by Rally as well, and I would assume that yeah, the icon is actually the courier is in use though, so Himbo is not going to be able to pick up the icon quite yet. But
I think they're gonna look to send Iggy home, take this tower, and then send him home with the Ophelia so that he can break his mana ring and get the icon.
That's true. That's something that he needs to do as well. That's right. Good point. Magnus still not level 11, by the way. I would assume that BMG wants to reach level 11 onto Magnus before they try to attempt that team fight, but not going to be sent back quite yet.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they're not making sure that Iggy has his icon before they choose to take a team fight, because
It might be because of
Action.
that
Lowstone
Magnus
gonna get
factor,
locked down.
actually. The eruption, it's going to be... Oh, Orc and Vortex is going to catch Magnus, actually, in the background. Mora is actually going to scout him out. And Rally or Deadwood is going to jump in the background, going to finish off the Torture. Oogie now as well, so tanky in the front. There's someone porting in, not entirely sure who that was. That was Lozon using the Shatterstorm, but actually trying to escape instead. It's going to hit Tankafet. He's in trouble. It's actually going to go down. The Compel, though, is going to finish off Lozon as well. Makia in trouble. Now Mora is going to fall, but so is Puppet Master. Is going to be locked down. The Minotaur, the Micros are so well played by Tankafet. And there is a buyback, I think, from the Helper
Another
team.
a buyback on the Puppet Master.
Oh, is this
Magnus
going
gonna
to
get a
be
nice
enough?
stun.
The Lava Surge, yeah, there it is. Nice use of the buyback right there. Balthazar definitely having the right idea. Getting a quad kill in the end, and that's going to pop him up for almost 400 gold per minute, at least excelling the Uki at this point. Who came out on top of the
Okay,
fight?
so I would say even though Oogie's dead and it looks like BMG held strong, they did use 2 buybacks, both on the Lodestone and the Puppet Master. So I would say overall Evil Corporation came out ahead in that fight. But I mean, imagine if Oogie had his icon there. I think they could have. I mean, it's kind of odd to say, but I think they could have almost, like, in a sense, won the game if Oogie had his icon there. Because he would have gotten, like, 10 icon charges and he would have been healing. So he might not have even went down at all had he had that icon. Puppet gonna eat a rotten grasp here.
Oh, Compel is gonna hit him at least. They don't have any reveal whatsoever, though. I completely agree with you. I feel like your idea about sending Oogie back and splitting up the mana or the mana ring would have been the right choice. But I do think that the argument, at least for Evil Corporation side, was simply because Magnus didn't or wasn't
Yeah,
level 11 yet, and that was something that they wanted to take advantage of. But as you can see right there, Nier was on top of it, and they cancelled his pull key anyway. So.
it was a great team fight, though. I mean, aside from him not having the icon, they were able to force 2 buybacks as well as get the mid tower. So I mean, it's hard to argue that it wasn't like a really good fight. It's just unfortunate that he didn't have the icon because he
Oh,
could have
look
10
at the top
charges right
lane, by
now.
the way. The Mana Sunder. Lodestone in trouble! His dead body is flying through the rocket trail. Unfortunately, not going to be enough to save him. And nice pickup right there from Evil Corporation. I'm surprised that Boxy actually stayed up there, so to say. He did have plenty of vision from or seeing Evil Corporation closing in.
Yeah, and I think this is the part where it's gonna start to snowball really, really heavily for Evil Corporation. They don't have the portal key picked up on Lodestone yet, and unless they get some really big Magnus eruptions into Boogie getting, like, dropped from a Puppet Master puppet, I don't really see BMG
Oh, Eruption is
being
going to go off, by
being
the
able
way.
to
I'm not
take
entirely sure
Boogie
what he's
down.
going to target. The Icon God, or yeah, the Icon of Goddess is way too, or making Ugi way too tanky. Swift Touch is going to go off in the background as well, but that's not going to keep him alive for long. Shatterstorm is going to be able to hit anyone, only going to hit the Minotaur as of right now, and there we go. Boxer is going to fall. Their stun is going to come out on Ophelia, but he's tanky. Tankified is standing his ground. He says, come at me, bro. Agonizing Bounce actually going to finish him off in the end, but it comes as a very high cost. Buyback on Fusen, by the way. He's back in the team fights, but it's already too late. Legion team way too dominant at this point.
Yeah, so a really nice hold from BMG there. They did lose the tower in the end, but able to stop the momentum from Evil Corporation. They did use another buyback. This one on Switchblade, so not as important, but it is something to note. Still.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I feel like BMG could make those team fights a lot more successful if they actually were to coordinate their stuns and their lockdown a little bit better. Especially though, like the Magnus eruption, Lawson wasn't in position at the time he started that channel, and only hitting Oogie as well. That's not really the target that you want to go for. Oh wait, what's going on here? Down in Torture is in trouble. I picked up a invisibility rune, but unfortunately, Grasp is gonna finish him off.
Nice dust coming out from Zane to secure that kill because weren't able to pick up the Invis rune in time, but it didn't matter in the end.
And more, I just picked up a pull key as well. That's when you know things are really dicey for you. The enemy support picks up a pull key at the 21-minute mark, and more of all supports as well. It's so crucial for him. Actually, Willowmaker is going to be used in the mid lane. Not entirely sure if Deadwood for some reason thought that he had a pickup potential right there, but as you can see, Puppet Master relatively tanky with that Whispering Helm armor. The Voodoo Puppet is up in 20 seconds. I would personally prefer if BMG kind of played a little bit more aggressive rather than simply defending the towers. I'm not sure. I feel like they should try to utilize their gank potential a little bit more, but maybe it's tough at this point, seeing as the Ophelia's touch is level 2 now, and the backup is always nearby for Evil Corporation side.
Yeah, there's a lot of sustain behind this Oogie. Not only with his own icon, but he has the Astrolabe and the Ophelia's touch coming out from Ophelia, and then he has also the protection from Moira with the Arcane Vortex, should he ever get in trouble from that Shadow Storm. So yeah, it is really hard to take down Oogie at this point, but they were able to take him down in the last fight with a well-placed Shadow Storm,
Yeah,
so it is still possible.
looks way better than the last one as well. For Magnus, Mora shouldn't have a way to cancel his eruption, so hopefully he can get an eruption on to the backline this time of Evil Corporation. We will see there are ports coming in now as well. There it goes, the eruption, but once again, like, the follow-up is simply not there in time. Deadwood in the background, Voodoo Puppet, yeah, he is going to get caught. The question is, are the Hellborn team or the Legion team able to get anything out of this? Actually, Oogie's dropping. He had the Shrunken Head, but he didn't get it off in time. Now Rally is in danger as well as the Mora. That started off a little bit questionable. It worked out very well for BMG. I'm surprised. 4-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, Deadwood wasn't able to get any of his spells off, so the Puppet Master was able to just burst him down, and that's not what you want to see happen if you're Evil Corporation. Deadwood has to get his punch off onto that Puppet Master in the team fight to stop him from getting those auto attacks off.
Even though it had a Shrunken Head, by the way, in that fight, but it remained.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it just got flown out to him, and he might have already been stunned by the Magnus by the time he had gotten it. So
gotcha.
I think it was like a timing issue where it had just gotten delivered to him and he wasn't able to activate it in time.
Alright, good play there by BMG at least. Definitely making their way back into this game now. I would almost say that they are ahead of that team fight. Would you agree? Beans?
Yeah.
Would you agree if I say that BMG is actually ahead in this game now?
They are running a dual core lineup with the Switchblade. However, I mean, we've said it before. He's not a core really. He's only 200 GPM. So it really is all on this Puppet Master. And I think it just comes down to Deadwood having to get his Willowmaker off in team fights. If he can lock down the Puppet and they can kill the Puppet, a lot of their damage output is gone.
Alright, so focus the Deadwood here for the Hellborn side then, I guess. Try to prevent him from getting that Willowmaker off in the team fights. Oogie now, he went for the Shrunken Head and he only got one charge on that icon of the goddess, so I feel like his farming potential is actually quite limited. What's going on over here, by the way? Willowmaker is going to be used on Lowstone, but he's going to be able to get out of the Regeneration Rune is going to bring him back to life again. Puppet Master got a Shrunken Head of his own. He's going to initiate onto tank if it's Swift Slash. This is going to help. The burst is a fact and he goes down. Now Mora, or Deadwood at least, is in trouble as well. Nice rocket drill by Boxy, going to secure yet another kill. Torture trying to keep alive Vagabond Leader, not having the slow available. It's still on cooldown, so that was yet another good fight from BMG's side.
Yeah, they were able to take down was it Deadwood and Ophelia here?
That it was.
So yeah, two good picks, and they didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, I mean, I was mentioning there as well before that fight actually broke out, Oogie not having any farm potential, really, with those items. So Puppet Master, I mean, continues to just increase that difference between them in gold per minute. I mean, look at Balthazar, he's up at 550 gold per minute now. That's even higher, or that's even 100 gold per minute higher than Oogie.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. He has 10 kills, and I think that's the biggest difference in the farm. He also does have a bit higher FCS than Oogie, so he's doing a really good job this game.
He sure is. Puppet Monster, by the way, 2k gold saved up. Is there anything that stands out to you when it comes to his next item here?
Um, I think he wants either the Symbol of Rage or I don't think he necessarily needs more damage output, at least right now. I think if he can get a symbol to where he can survive the punch and the rally combo, and then activate the symbol and just tank Oogie sitting on top of him. I think that's where he wants to be. But he's gonna go for a Firebrand, so I guess that's a Geobane eventually.
Would assume so. Of course, helps him to get out to the grasp. Maybe reduce the slow from Oogie. I'm not entirely sure. Good item in general, of course. Look at this, by the way, the Legion team trying to scout out the Magnus. The clear cutting here for Deadwood is up in another second here, so they need to be careful. Lodestone smoked up as well, looking for that Shatterstorm initiation. Makia level 16, of course. Where are no buybacks, by the way, from this Hellborn team? What's going on over here? There comes the Lava Surge onto Oogie. They're going to try to burst him down with the Shadow Storm. The Arcane Vortex going to keep him alive though. Shadow Storm actually going to go off before he gets into the Arcane Vortex. So Oogie should potentially be able to be fine. He still doesn't have, or still hasn't used the Shrunken Head. There it goes, but it's already too late, I feel. BMG should be able to escape this. There comes the Eruption. Beautifully played by Makia. And the Shadow Storm or the Rocket Drill is going to follow it up. Keep them locked down. Oogie's chasing Magnus. He's going to get at least that kill, but the Voodoo Puppet is going to finish him off as well. And BMG just showing how damn coordinated they were in that team fight, playing out their minds. Actually, my game froze right there, but what's your impressions on that team fight?
Uh, just Evil Corporation trying to push into a Magnus and a Lodestone, in my opinion. And they weren't able to touch the Puppet Master at all in that fight. And we talked about it. Puppet Master is doing a lot of damage in team fights. If we look at the damage chart, Puppet Master is sitting at 17%, and that's almost twice as much as anyone on the side of Evil Corporation. So they're just not addressing the Puppet Master in the fights. Lodestone and Magnus are too impactful, and they're standing in the way of them getting to Puppet, and thus he's able to put out so much damage.
It feels like they don't really have the lockdown to actually reach the backlines of Bad Monkey Gaming, especially with all those melee initiators. I know that we gave Maka some hard or tough love earlier this game, but that team fight right there, that was perfection from his side. Of course, Lava Surge locking down the Oogie at the start, preventing him from using the Shrunken Head, and also forcing the Arcane Vortex, as well as following it up afterwards with that eruption on the entire backline from Evil Corporation. As we can see here on the hero board as well, or a hero damage board, Puppet Master in the lead, of course, on that 17%, followed by the Magnus on 14%. Nobody really standing out on the side of Evil Corporation.
Yeah, and Oogie's still sitting on the one icon charge. Just ever since that team fight middle, just hasn't been able to get his momentum going. We thought he was gonna, or at least I thought he was gonna spiral out of control, but clearly that's not the case here. And BMG proving me wrong, so that's good to see. But yeah, so back to the Firebrand pickup on Puppet Master. We talked about, or you mentioned how you liked it against the Rotten Grasp. The one issue I have is that if you do get hit by a Rotten Grasp and you do pop Geometer's Bane, you basically get sucked back into it because it's one of those things where like the Rotten Grasp sits on the ground and like it doesn't go away like if you dispel yourself out of it basically. So for that aspect, I don't really. If that's his reasoning to picking up a Geometer's Bane, I heavily disapprove of it. However, Firebrand is just a good item in general if you're playing a carry role. It's a very cost-efficient item, and it does a lot in terms of helping your hero scale. But I personally just think the Symbol of Rage makes so much sense in this game. Being able to survive all of the damage, and then just being able to output your damage that way.
Alright, we see the Blessed Orb, by the way, picked up an Oogie there as well, so I would assume that it's leaning towards the Sheep Stick on his part. We don't see anything else.
He really does need a Sheep Stick so that he can lock down that Puppet Master and then just sit on him with the Shrunken Head.
No Kongor kills attempted so far, by the way, by either team. Hellborn team could. I mean, have in mind, they don't have an Abyssal Skull, so it might be a little bit risky. They do have the Whispering Helm, of course, on Puppet Master, so he should be able to sneak in there with the Shroud, and yeah, we actually see an opportunity here, potentially. I think he was thinking about it, but...
I think if Puppet has a Minotaur with him, which he has that group, I think he could definitely solo the Kong. It's just a matter of them feeling comfortable. They don't know it, but there are no words for Evil
Oh,
Corporation
mid lane,
spotting out
what's
the
happening? Oogie in trouble. Voodoo Puppet is gonna come out. Arcane Vortex is gonna keep him alive for now, though. Where is the team support? Ophelia's touch is still unused. Not going to be attempted. Tankafet just accepting the fate that his carry player is indeed going to fall there, and he's gonna save the cooldown for later use. But hey, here comes Torture. He actually picked up a Polki. Tankafet is going to fall as well. There is a buyback on his part, but without creeps, how much can Ophelia really do?
Yeah, not a whole lot of feel I could do there. BMG's just playing really, really well this game, and they're focusing down the right targets. They were able to pick off the Oogie there, and now they're going to turn it into a base push. And Oogie doesn't have any buybacks, and nobody for that matter other than the Ophelia. So this should be at least a base tower, if not a melee Rex.
I think that this is indeed going to turn into at least that mid Rags more are going to try to buy some time. So is the Deadwood here, but as you said, no buybacks whatsoever available. I'm surprised. I guess they feel desperate at this point, but it's not going to work out very well. Both of them are going to fall, and well, now we got an additional 50 seconds here for BMG if they want to push, but they seem to be falling back. Puppet Master being low. I guess that's what forced them back. So at least they are going to defend the melee racks.
Yeah, they were able to get the base tower though, so that's some nice gold. And if they are able to pick off the Oogie again, it should be a melee Rex the next time they look to force base.
I feel like if BMG simply groups up right now and kind of forces a Kongor fight, they should be able to seal the deal for this game. As you can see, 18k gold advantage right now and a 30k experience lead, as well as the fact that Ophelia doesn't have any creeps farmed up or controlled quite yet. And as you can see, they have been doing a good job clearing the stacks. Magnus right there finishing off the last Skeleton King. So Tankafet has no options whatsoever. He can take over this cute little Pustula right here, but how, yeah, you being an Ophelia player and all, how good is the Pustula really in the team fights?
At this point in the game, not super impactful mainly because it's gonna die very quickly to any kind of AoE. But it's an okay creep early on in the game if you want to set up ganks because the slow is like really strong early on. But right now at this stage of the game, it's not going to be too impactful. But something to point out is Abyssal Skull is picked up by Switchblade as well as Sacrificial Stone on the Torturer. And I really like these pickups, as well as the Sheepstick on Magnus. So they're going to have those armor items to deal with the burst coming out from Evil Corporation. So those are good item pickups. Storm Spirit as well onto the Lodestone to protect the Puppet Master.
That he has. I'm surprised that they ain't going for Kongor. They got Abyssal Skull onto Swiftblade, so they could safely bring him down. I mean, with the assistance of the Impalement here, as well from Torture, I would assume that Kongor should fall relatively easy. But gonna keep at it for now. Puppet Master is actually going to look for Rally up here at the top lane. He needs to be careful though. Ophelia is nearby. Seems like he senses something and he's going to play it safe. But if he were to go for those creeps up here at the top lane, or if he's going for this kill onto Rally, actually, whoa, okay. He needs to be really careful right now. He's gonna run straight into 4 people and he's like, nope, I'm out of here. Still
He
no
is
Kongor
very
attempt.
lucky there's no Bound Eye picked up. Or that could have been a dead Puppet Master.
I don't get why they don't go for Kongor.
Yeah, it looks like they're rotating to Kong now, seeing as how they've spotted out all of Evil Corporation up here in this top lane.
Here we go, indeed. It seems like, well, there's not going to be too much of a resistance here from the Legion side.
And the only ward of sight placed by Evil Corporation spotting this Kong area was dewarded by Root of Z, so nice job from him.
Yeah, Nir is of course here, not too much that he can do about it. He could of course delay and use the Arcane Vortex to prevent Puppet Master from picking it up, but Yeah, Token of Life plus that Symbol of Rage now onto Puppet Master. Is there any hope whatsoever for this Legion side to actually get back into this game number 2?
Um, I would say they need a sheepstick on the Oogie, and they need to somehow get multiple pickoffs with the sheepstick. Um, but as long as BMG stays relatively close together and they don't split up and get picked off, I don't see BMG losing this game. They're gonna have to kill Puppet Master several times. He does have one buyback left, not enough gold at the moment, but he does pick up the similar ridge, so I really do like that he's picked that up now.
There is going to be a Staff of the Master and level 16 on Rally here in the near future, but as you also mentioned earlier, like there is the Storm Spirit on the Lodestone, of course, so it's going to be so difficult to actually get that Seismic Slam off in the team fights. Post haste onto Boxy now as well. Just a nice little mobility tool right there. Veiled Rods happening here in the middle and onto Swiftblade and to Magnus. They are looking, and Tankafat, no, he's not gonna continue for another wave at least. He's gonna farm in the forest. Seems like BMG, they are a little bit hesitant right here, but now they are entering the Legion forest at least. They got, of course, the Sheepstick onto Magnus, but still need to be a little bit careful here. There we go, Tankafat is in trouble, and he is going to end up falling. Now he got a buyback, but once again that would be his final, and it seems like his creeps are going to be chased down. Nope, never mind.
That's like the worst feeling as a jungler. Is like you're just farming in your camp, and then out of nowhere, three people veiled rot just come and they're on top of you, and you just die. I feel so bad for Tekafet. But so Sheep's gonna come out onto Oogie here.
It's going to bring him down. Shatterstorm as well in the background, gonna finish him off. Nice coordination once more. BMG kind of on top of it this game number 2.
Buyback from Oogie.
Shatterstorm, or I mean Seismic Slam going to be attempted right there. Not going to be successful though. Skeleton King is going to fall now as well. And Puppet Master, well, he did use the Shrunken Head, but even if he were to fall right here, he still got that Token of Life. And of course this buyback onto Oogie, this kind of, well, now he's
extremely disciplined by BMG. They recognized the buybacks from both Ophelia and Oogie, and they didn't pursue a 5-on-5.
Yeah, Deadwood is still dead, by the way, for another 20 seconds here, so there's still a possibility that they're going to go back into this fight. There was a buyback onto Lodestone, so I assume that they are awaiting his arrival here. Actually, Boxy is going to take a detour up to the top rune here, only gonna find a refreshment. There is a double damage at the bottom, of course, so unfortunate for him, wrong location for the rune spawn this time. Oh yeah, you guys, by the way, are playing your next series here, and according to the schedule, it's like about to start here.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the other series is still going on. So I believe I have a few more minutes. But I'll let you know if I have to leave.
There has been a few. You're playing Sona Esports?
I believe it's Sauna and then Revolution today.
Alright, yeah, there has
series.
been delays with the login servers or trouble with the login servers, so I know that Insania wasn't able to log in for the first 30 minutes or so, so the series was indeed delayed. Actually, take a quick look at the Minotaur game, seeing as there is nothing going on right now in the series at least. That's the wrong guy. Here we go. Yeah, seems like it's about to end. 12 minutes in, but this hero kills are 21-2 in favor of Sync.
Oh wow. So Sync, even with without Insania, their captain, still showing that they're very dominant.
He still hasn't been able to log in. Poor guy.
So we got 38 seconds here left on the Token of Life, so BMG gonna try to use it to its fullest extent here.
Yeah, pressuring the Milrax. As you can see, Ophelia trying to out-attack. Geometer's illusion right there, not going to be very effective. Sheepstick, of course, on Oogie is still lacking 300 gold. They desperately want it before they try to commit to a fight. Token of Life up for another 15 seconds, but it's going to wear out here in the near future. Staff the Master, I'm not entirely sure what rally. Like, he has more items than that, I'm sure. I'm not entirely sure why he's not
He's
showing
saving for
it.
a buyback. Um,
Yeah,
he's
but I
only
mean,
200 GPM, so it's understandable that that's all he has.
no, he has more items
Uh,
in the
no, he just
stash.
he just bought it. He just bought out. He was sitting on a buyback, and now he doesn't have one.
No, he didn't buy
So
back. He's still got 2 buybacks left on Rally.
no. He had gold for a buyback. He just bought out the Mighty Blade, so now he doesn't have gold for a buyout.
Yeah, but I saw him with additional item earlier in this game. He had a glowstone plus another 1,000 gold item.
Oh,
So he must either
did
have it
not
in the
notice that.
stash or he sold it to actually afford a buyback in the previous fight. That could have been something, like a desperate move. Kind of when he wanted to go in, he's just like, okay, I'm not gonna get my staff quite yet, so I'm just gonna sell this gold or this
Yeah,
item and get 500 gold
it's
back.
very possible because when you're down by this much, the only way you can really come back is through buybacks and somehow winning team fights. So that probably was what happened.
Now he got another item again. I'm not entirely sure how he
Double
got that,
damage on
but
Puppet Master.
oh my, they're going to try to burst him down. Symbol of Rage, of course, not going to be able to activate it in time. They're actually going to be able to burst him down. Sheepstick is going to be successful from Oogie, catching the BMG off guard. Swiftblade is relatively deep. No buyback happening from Puppet Monster either. Shatterstorm going off onto Ophelia. Tankafet not gonna fall. Compel, unfortunately, going to miss. Magnus in deep, though. Nice chain reaction, gonna finish off Tankafet. Magnus, though, not gonna get away from this one. Rotten Grasp is going to keep him in his place, and he is going to go down. 2 kills. I almost feel like Recent Gaming or Evil Corporation needed more from that, though. They were very close on finishing off both the Swiftlet and the Lodestone once again, so it's a small setback for BMG, but in the end, no damage really done.
Ophelia didn't buy back there, right? He had already used two.
I would assume so.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's still dead. So okay, reason they were able to jump and burst down the puppet before he could get BKB or symbol off, and that pretty much is why they were able to win that team fight.
Yeah, that was. I felt like that was Evil Corporation's last chance to actually get back into this game. If they would have, like, they did get the surprise factor onto Puppet Master, but they were only able to get one more kill after that. So now BMG is not going to make the same mistake again. They're well aware of the Sheepstick this time, so Lodestone is going to be on top with the Storm Spirit next time, and it's going to be so damn difficult for this Legion team.
Yeah, I think the jump from Evil Corporation just really caught BMG off guard because they do have that Storm Spirit onto Boxy, and it just seemed like he was very slow to react because Puppet died so quickly.
That he did. Willowmaker to the face, followed up by, not sure if it was the Seismic Slam that finished them off, but...
It started off with a Sheepstick into a Willowmaker. Sheepstick from Oogie into Willowmaker.
So BMG is going to play it safe for now at least, just going to await the Kongor to respawn before they attempt yet another melee racks push, I would assume. What do you do if you're a Legion? Like, you have to contest next Kongor kill. There's no other way. There's no way that you can ever bring Puppet Monster down twice in a team fight.
I would say there's two options, and one would be to contest Kong, and the other would be to like split push and force them to TP to their base. However, they do have an Oogie, and Oogie is one of those late game carries that is not very good at sieging the base. So I don't think split pushing and trying to force like BMG to TP back to their base is really an option in this game. So I think it's just going to come down to they need to have like a miracle winning team fight and not allow BMG to get that token alive. But we do see a Veil drop play coming out from BMG here. Uh, but as we can see, all of Evil Corporation are in the top lane. So I don't think this Veil Drop is going to end up accomplishing anything here, unfortunately.
Nope, Evil Corporations sticking so close to each other. Everyone is going to port out in the end. Poor Vagabond leaders, they are not able to port back, so they're just gonna have to take the risk away and hope not to get picked off, as you guys can see them running here. In the forest, gonna spread out and scout some. But yeah, Kongor should be up in, well, I would assume any second right now. Oh, look at the skeleton, by the way. I haven't actually seen this before. There's a skeleton guy in the Kongor pit. The wall decoration here. Haven't paid attention to that before. There is a small altar at least. Conquer, there we go. Response. That's one angry monkey. Yeah, if you feel the need to leave, by the way, for your series, I fully understand that.
Yeah,
Seeing as
I'm keeping tabs. I don't think there's a lobby hosted just yet.
Alright,
So
I
Kongor is
think
being
that
attempted.
actually, yeah, there is the last fight. Actually, Polki picked up by Imboboy, gonna try to get the sheepstick off, but a nice reaction from or from Balthasar, getting the shrunken head off and preventing the shrunken head from actually, or for the sheepstick to be applied. Deadwood going to fall in the background. This is full retreat mode, full Legion team, but at the same time, they don't really have any chance to get back from this if BMG were to secure the Conquer kill. So they are all in here, baby. Compel going to be attempted by Rally as well onto Lodestone. There's another sheepstick locking him down for now. Rocket Drill is going to keep him in his place, and he is going to fall. I wouldn't be too surprised if that is indeed the final nail in the coffin here for this Legion team.
Yeah, there's no buybacks available for Evil Corporation. However, BMG doesn't know that, so they don't want to force base. They want to just secure this Kongor and get the token of life onto Puppet, which is definitely the smart play. And from there, they can go to push high ground, which I don't think Evil Corporation will be able to fend off again.
Nope, it's sure as hell is going to be very difficult at least. They are at least going to give it yet another try. Chances are incredibly slim though. 40k experience lead, I can't recall last time I've actually seen that kind of a lead without the enemy team not conceding.
If somehow Evil Corporation is able to kill Puppet Master twice, he even has buyback and post haste ready to go, and it would most likely mean that Oogie would have already used his final buyout. So should that come down to being the last case scenario, I think even then BMG still comes out ahead.
I would prefer if BMG grouped up and started the push right now. Still playing very
Yeah.
patiently.
Null Fireblade picked up on Lodestone, so even another way to deal with the sheepstick from Oogie. I love when people pick up Null Fireblade because the item is so good and it's so undervalued and hardly ever picked up by a lot of teams. The item just has such great uses, especially like this stage of the game is when Null Fireblades are so impactful when they're against cheap sticks and Hellflowers.
Lodestone going to secure a double damage rune here, and I'm sure that he is going to run over and indeed give that to Puppet Master. He got the post haste, of course, so he's probably going to join his teammates here. Any second, as we can see right here, DD double damage with a token and symbol of fate, Genjuro, Shrunken Head. What do you do if you're a Legion? Like, there is absolutely no way that you can win this unless the Hellborn team gets like 5-man seismic slammed by Rally.
Oh, Staff of the Master is completed, so if you can somehow land a big Seismic Slam, it could do a lot of work.
Here we go, the double damage picked up. Oh, he's gonna just jump their Bane before toggling the DD smart move right there. So going to add a little bit more pressure here. Of course, the DDs, the crits, the towers is going to fall in a matter of seconds. Skeleton King is going to be applied right there onto Puppet Master. Alright, final battle. Legion team is gonna have to make something happen here. Not entirely sure what. Rocket Drill there as a security measurement right there from Lodestone. Just going to make sure that he's always nearby Puppet Master. Here we go. Melirax is going to fall. Tankerfell, as we can see, are in the front. Range Racks going down in the middle while this is going on as well. They simply cannot take a fight while the DD is activated.
No, they can't. It would literally mean disaster, and BMG gets a free Rax without even forcing a fight. They still have Token of Life for another 2 minutes, so they're just going to all rotate to top lane now and try to get those Mega Creeps.
Yeah, Legion team like Imba Boy, well, buying a
Got
Shrunken
out
Heart.
a Portal Key. Um,
Yeah, he actually had that in that last clash at
okay.
Congo as well. I think we saw that versus, if I'm not mistaken, was that versus you guys yesterday?
I think it was. He had Portal Key Sheepstick. So continuing the trend of items.
Yeah. So
Whenever you have a Sheepstick, Portal Key is never a bad item.
That it sure ain't. There is a winged courier here, by the way, holding a lot of TPs from the Hellborn side. Not entirely sure. I think they scout out the rally and the Deadwood. So this could mean disaster if Magnus went for the eruption right here. That is the Hellborn courier, right? Yeah, there we
Um,
go, the eruption on the melee heroes. Oh my god, what a way to finish it off. Aima Boy is gonna jump straight onto Lodestone in the background, but no buybacks from Rally or Deadwood. GTs are being played, and this series is going to be tied. Both BMG and Evil Corporation winning one game each. Yeah. Final
yep.
thoughts on the series or the game before you head off to play your own?
Okay, so the things that I remember are BMG did an excellent job defending their towers once they had the portal keys picked up on Magnus and Lodestone. And I honestly just think it came down to Evo Corporation being a little too antsy with their push. If they had just sent home Oogie to the base, got him his icon, and then looked to take a team fight from there, I think Oogie would have snowballed and got out of control very fast. But as we saw, BMG was able to lock down the Oogie and keep him